The X-Wing is ready to battle in space with today's game, Space Battle, for your Intellivision system. Let's see, should we do Action Network Red, Space Network Blue, or Sears? Yeah, I think I'll go with the Sears. Let's go ahead and take Space Battle, pop it in my television system, and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. The generically titled Space Battle was published by Mattel Electronics and carries a copyright year of 1979. It was programmed by Hal Finney, who also designed Adventures of Tron for the Atari 2600, which I reviewed in episode 266. Space Battle was later ported to the Atari 2600 as Space Attack, another pretty generic title for a retro game. You can see my review of that version in episode 281. According to the manual, 5 alien squadrons are closing in on your mothership, and it's up to you to defend her with 3 squadrons, each one comprised of 3 ships of your own. You know, this probably would have never happened if that deadbeat father ship stuck around. Space Battle is a space action game with some strategy elements for 1 player only and offers 5 game speeds. Throughout the game, you will dispatch your squadrons to specific enemy squadrons and also enter battles with them in space. Get it? Space Battle? The overlay is highly recommended for this game. Before the game starts, you can press the gold squadron on the top row for slow speed, the white squadron for medium speed, the blue squadron for fast speed, the directional disc itself for advanced speed, and the blue return to base button in the second row for super advanced speed. When the game starts, you will see 5 clusters of white dots, which represent enemy squadrons heading to your mothership at the center of the screen. You press the alien button to highlight which alien squadron you want to send one of your color-coded squadrons to attack. Once the desired enemy squadron is selected, you can press on one of the buttons in the top row to send out that colored squadron, and an enemy squadron can only have 1 squadron pursuing it at a time. Once a squadron reaches an enemy, it will start blinking. At this point, you can press the corresponding color button on the third row to go to battle. While in battle, you use the directional disc to move the crosshair and the side buttons to fire a shot at the enemies. It takes a while for your shot to reach an enemy, so a successful shot is usually met not by shooting at your enemy, but shooting at where the enemy will be when your shot reaches him. It is possible to take out multiple enemy ships at the same time with a single shot, and for enemy debris from being destroyed to hit other enemy ships. I found it very satisfying when a chain reaction took place, taking out multiple enemies. The manual also mentions a modified 2-player game, where 1 player uses a controller to aim the crosshair, and the other player uses the other controller to fire. To win this little space battle, you must take out all the enemies in the squadron. The amount of enemies remaining are shown in the bottom left number, and the number of ships remaining in your squadron is represented by the bottom right number. You'll lose a ship if the enemy shot hits your crosshair when it turns red. You return to the radar screen when you or the enemy wins the battle. You can also return to the radar screen by pressing the radar button on the bottom row. The manual also states you can return to the radar screen by pressing 2 or more of the side buttons at the same time during battle, so be sure to only use 1 button when attacking. When one of your squadrons are engaged with an enemy, but you are not in the battle screen, the computer will fight for you, losing an average of 1 fighter for every 3 enemy fighters it takes out. Pressing the corresponding color-coded return to base button on the second row will send that squadron back to the middle of the screen to await further orders. You can disengage a squad from battle on the radar screen this way as well. When in battle on the slowest speed, action on the radar screen freezes while you're in the battle. On all other speeds, the action continues at half speed on the radar screen while you are battling. So enemy squadrons will keep heading to the mothership and attacking the mothership and other squads once engaged while you're battling. Once an enemy squadron reaches your mothership in the middle of the screen, an alarm will begin to sound, increasing in frequency as the mothership gets closer and closer to being destroyed. And the more enemy ships attacking the mothership, the quicker it can be destroyed. If the mothership is destroyed, your game ends in defeat. If you manage to defeat all the enemies before your mothership is destroyed, you win the game. And that's it. There is no scoring in the game, because when it comes to Space Battle, there's only victory or defeat. And that, in a very big nutshell, is Space Battle. However, I should mention that some of the earlier made cartridges are slower than later release cartridges. Apparently, after the first batch of games went out, Mattel decided the game was overall too easy, so they increased the speed on all other cartridges after that. Graphically speaking, the radar screen is pretty basic, as you'd expect for a game made before the 80s, but the battle screen was decent. The sounds in the game were decent, with some nice explosion sounds in the battle screen. However, to me, the victory sound reminded me of a tornado alarm. Family-friendly wise, you just have your standard space action. At the time of my research on eBay, complete copies were selling for $8 and new copies were selling for $9, including shipping. So what did I think of Space Battle? Well, there's definitely a learning curve to the game, so if you just try to pick up and play this game, you might find it frustrating. But once I understood how the game works, I had a really good time. Games are quick enough to be played several times in a row, and I really like the mix of strategy and action. I also like the different difficulty options and how the random placement of the enemies at the beginning can make different games played on the same difficulty feel fresh. It's a fun game and very impressive for a game that came out in the early days of home video games. So where am I going to rank Space Battle? Well, this is where it gets tough. I've only ranked 2 other games and both of them are very enjoyable as well. Burger Time is still going to keep the number 1 position, and Whitewater, which is at the 2 position, is really close to Space Battle. Both are recommended, but I think I enjoyed the originality of Whitewater a little bit more. So for right now, Space Battle is going to take the bronze at the number 3 position. Space Battle has a learning curve, but it is recommended for the Intellivision. So what do you think of Space Battle? Whether you agree or disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Also, feel free to click the like and subscribe buttons. And if you'd like to support the show, you can do so at Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/NoSoreGamer for more information. You can also follow me on both the Facebook or the Twitter, and I'm a member of the Retro Junkies Network. You can find more retro podcasts and videos at theretrojunkies.com. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care, and remember that some tornado alarm-like sounds are actually a good thing.